guys, Towers here. Welcome back to DMZ. I want to do some PvP later, but my cash flow is not great. So I'm going to do some cash runs, and I'm going to do this now while I'm alone, so that I'm not wasting anybody else's time. Most people, when they get into your party, these days they don't want to do any missions. They don't want to. All they want to do is hunt, and they don't want to prepare for the hunt. So I don't use any glitches or exploits. I'm certainly not a cheater, and I just use cash to regain from a naked state, to buy myself plate carriers, bags, utility at the start of a game, a normal PvP run. I don't use the Koche glitch or anything like that, but when I do go into Koche for regain, I will use the liquor glitch, which is if you bring a bottle of liquor and dead drop it, you will get a note, and you can sell that note more than once, and it really depends on what the game gives you, but sometimes you can max out your cash that way. And I do that because the game is not being supported anymore. You cannot play this game normally. All people are doing is hunting each other, and you're also having to contend with glitchers, cheaters, and outright hackers. And the game just would be not enjoyable at all or playable at all if there was not a way to reliably farm cash and equipment. And again, I would not use any glitches at all, any exploits at all, if the game were in a supported playable state. If it were a normal game, even if I had known about a glitch or an exploit, I wouldn't use it, and I don't. This is the only one that I do use, is the liquor glitch in Koche to get gear to regain for cash. And I'll show that to you guys here. I don't think it's a game-breaking exploit. It's probably the most inoffensive glitch in the game, and it is always a risk. Doing this solo, there's always a risk of running into multiple teams, and feel that Koche is a hard enough dungeon on its own. But I'm going to set myself up for a solo Koche run. I also don't believe in the live service model, the pay-to-win model, loot crates, real world currency for in-game advantages. But I do have one 15-minute weapon bundle that I got from regular play and accumulating COD points just from regular play when the game was still being updated, and you can earn COD points through the just the regular seasonal updates. So I spent a very small amount of COD points that I did not spend any real world money on to get a 15-minute bundle for this ISO Hemlock, and I used that on regain runs so I can throw it down and take more contraband out, and also not worry about burning a high cooldown insured slot. So I'll have this equipped on all three of my slots. I'll start working from my highest cooldown to my lowest cooldown. Since it's a 15-minute bundle, that's going to be faster than even the shortest cooldown, even if you have max upgrades. And my contraband stash is pretty full, so I'm not worried about really bringing out any more weapons. I need to build up these weapons at workbenches using cash, so that's my main goal. My main goal is to blow up, and we're going to do that in Koche. So for that reason, I'm also bringing in a portable radar. If we can work to unlocking the secure buy, I can build myself an advanced UAV with this portable and two electronic components, and you can find those pretty easily in Alpha Cluster down there. You can, bring this stuff in with you from topside. You can bring in liquor, electrical components, jumper cables, and battery sets. But I don't want to spend too much time topside solo, as I don't want to risk dying to not only normal teams but hackers and glitchers. And I'm going to spend my time topside hunting with squad mates who can support me, so that way I have at least a fighting chance. This game was hard solo when it was a normal game mode, but now that it's a dead game, it's nearly impossible solo. It's not really rewarding. It's more frustrating than anything, so it's better, I think, to spend your time with in a squad if you're going to be running normal topside hunting or mission doing or what have you. But I'm going to bring in just $1 grand for plates. If I happen to come across a safe buy station early, I can load up on some plates, and we're going to get in there. So that's what the loadout's going to look like. I'm going to bring in a naked guy, gear this guy up. I have my in-game audio down at 10% right now. I'm going to turn that up to 100% as I go in-game. So my voice is going to be drowned out by the normal game here. Actually, I forgot that I need to do a warm-up really quickly while I do still have insured slots to warm up with. I'm going to set up just a ground loot Vaznev in a configuration that the bots will drop in topside Al Mazrah, and I'll only bring in a one weapon if I'm coming in naked to avoid the hand glitch, and I'll pick up a bot Vaznev or something similar as a secondary, some kind of SMG as a secondary, and that'll be my loadout. But while I still have my insured slots open and while I have access to the firing range, I'll go ahead and take advantage of that. So I'm going to load myself into the firing range. I'm going to put my target dummies at 3-plate armor systems to simulate players, and I'm going to turn down my in-game audio here so that I can dictate to you guys, and I'm going to switch controllers here. So the first thing I'm going to do before I start shooting is I'm going to start warming up my movement. And first drill I do is a 180 drill. So I'll tack sprint to one side of the wall, I'll turn around and try to nail a perfect 180, and I'll do that in the opposite direction, facing away from the target dummies, as I have aim assist on so that I don't get that delay from when the aim assist starts kicking in and turns off. Alright, so the purpose of that drill is to get a sense of space and movement and to acclimate myself to my sensitivity. If I can spin around and do a 180, that's about the maximum that I'll need. I'll never need to spin around and do more than that. If you can nail a 180, you can nail a 90-degree turn. And then another drill I'll do is I'll just strafe back and forth while having my crosshairs centered on this first target dummy. I'll start off slow and I'll work up speed as I go. I do have aim assist on, but that's not going to do all the work for you. move into tracking while ADS. I'm trying to keep this smooth and steady and avoid this kind of jerky, kind of panic movements. And here I'm not engaging the rotational aim assist by strafing with the target, as I'm trying to just practice these skills in isolation. Then I'll move into tracking this line across the bottom of the floor, and the same thing here above. So as quickly and as accurately as I can, I'm going to trace this break in the floor and once I've done one rotation to the right, I'll switch and go back and do the same thing to the left. And then once that's done, I'll move up to the ceiling, do the same thing. And now I'll move to the same exercise but to the left. Got off track a little bit there. And there's another drill we can do by focusing on this fire alarm, moving towards it, trying to hold our crosshairs perfectly on. Got to get myself a new controller. These analog sticks are pretty washed at this point. same thing with this trash can here. And I can do this other trash can on the opposite side. You can do it with this fire alarm panel here. Now I can move into shooting. decently warm now, so go ahead and back myself out of the firing range. This is the setup that we're using for our hemlock. Find that the sight picture for the iron sights is pretty bad on the hemlock, suboptimal at least. So we're running a lightweight red dot. But even if you run a very lightweight red dot, you're still going to have your ADS time slowed down. The big magazine is also going to slow down your ADS time. And on the hemlock, the optimal build for the hemlock is going to use the Fielder T50 heavy long barrel. It's going to give you some recoil control, but it's also going to give you a little bit more damage range and probably most importantly bullet velocity. This is just the 5.56 variation of the hemlock. We're not using the blackout rounds, but even with the 5.56, the bullet velocity is not that fast, so it's going to be easier to hit moving targets, especially at range, with more bullet velo. We're going to add a muzzle device that gives us horizontal recoil control, which is the hardest type to compensate for. And so all those attachments are going to slow down our ADS time. So for that reason, we're going to add a laser as our fifth and final attachment. And we're going to add an ADS laser, and this OLE5 is going to give you some of that ADS time back. It's going to give you some aiming stability back, and it's going to give you sprint to fire speed. So it's going to give you a little bit more than the other lasers will. The other thing that a laser does is it gives a nice contrast between whatever sighting system that you're using, whether that be iron sights or some kind of reflex or red dot. And that contrast, that extra kind of, that laser pointer is going to help you kind of make sense of your sight picture a little bit better, as well as giving you those handling characteristics. But we are now ready. And since we plan on going into Kosh, we're hoping for spawn on the north side of the map. That's where all the Kosh entrances are. If we do spawn on the south side, we'll have to work towards the north side using some kind of vehicle. If we're on kind of an isolated spawn point on the south side, we might end up playing there and working cache from that, like if we spawn towards Albagra or Sawa village. But even Sawa can become quite hot, so really we'll probably only stay south side if we're like at Bagra. We have a lot of contracts there for cache, like a destroy supplies for a safes. But now we're going to turn up our in-game audio.
Welcome to Al Mazrah. Explore, secure intel, and loot to gain access to new missions. Enemy threat is high, so expect contact.
Found the vehicle. Found the vehicle.
Hostile UAV overhead. Ultra One, enemy threat is moderate near your location. Ultra One, be advised, threat level is high in this AO, expect contact. You've got an enemy Bashara incoming. Ultra One, enemy threat appears low in your area.
That's often the most difficult part of Koche, is getting into Koche. We think about taking a boat up that central river, but there was a helo spawn right there, and as you can see, I would have passed that team that grabbed that position. So instead chose to go for the cargo truck into the Oasis entrance, as it's called, or the Ruins entrance. It's the gas entrance.
Ultra One, we're getting comms interference. Advise you look for markings to navigate through the area.
Take the extra selfie. Over the single plate. Ultra One, there's increased enemy activity in the area. Expect contact. Ultra One, activity is increasing near your location. Stay alert.
One, be advised. Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements in. Hostile activities increasing in the area. Ultra One, be advised, threats are moving into the area. Ultra One, there's increased enemy activity. Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming.
هاد؟
ما في شي هون.
You never know what lurks in the shadows around here. You'll fix this. You'll fix everything. Should be enough in there to get you sorted. Willing to trade. For a price, of course.
One, be advised. Hostile activity. Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming. Ultra One, we're seeing increased activity. Ultra One, be advised, threats are moving. Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming. Ultra One, activity has increased in the area. Keep your eyes open.
ما في خطر هون.
شايف عدو.
One, be advised, winds are picking up. Move to an extraction point.
That station has your usual gear. The other ones have been making a deposit. Hello? Is anyone out there?
Found some loot here.
Shit, I needed two of these. Pretty advanced.
Just need what's on your list. That's your common gear and equipment. Other station has the new shit. Got the usual key in there. New equipment in the other station.
طيب
Driving away the customers.
Be advised, hostile activity. You've got hostile. Actual. Radiation is spreading through the area. Advise moving to an extract point. Communications resecured. Work down there.
Well, I could have made it out of there with an advanced, but I messed up and I only grabbed one electrical component instead of the two I needed, plus the portable, which was the full recipe. I chose to retain the insured, even though it's on a 15-minute cooldown. I just wanted to keep it just in case I wanted to change it. And I got two of these 5 attachment Lockman subs. These are like ADS Lockman subs. It's a pretty good 5 attachment ground loot weapon. The Lockman sub is one of the strongest SMGs, and this isn't a meta build by any means, but it's definitely good, especially for a ground loot weapon. I choose to run stims in Koshé solo. You will get a lot of utility out of like a stun or a flash grenade, especially against riot shield bots or a shock stick or something, but stims are just, they're useful because it's the only healing item in the game, and if you're solo, sometimes that's all you need just to get around a corner, just to break line of sight. But we're pretty much full on contraband now. Just need that cash to build it up, to build out the weapons properly at a workbench. And I was previously running what I called like maintenance runs solo, and I would just bring in like contraband weapons, fix them up at a workbench in exfil. But that's pretty dangerous, and you can lose a lot of resources that way, whether it be the contraband weapons themselves or all the cash that you have to bring in to fix one up. If you have your passive upgrades done for your workbench discounts, let's see if I can find where those are. They're somewhere in here, but if you have all that done, it's going to cost about $15,000 for a 5 attachment build. So that's 15 grand and a contraband weapon you're risking every time you do that solo. So I found it to be just more efficient to bring in whatever weapon I need to fix up at a workbench and just do it at the very beginning of a PvP run with a squad. So we got about $100,000 out of that last run. We're going to need a couple more runs like that to I like to start hunting at maybe around 300,000, about halfway full on the wallet. And you're not really, if you're being smart with your cash, you're not going to burn through that much cash in one session, but it is nice to start with a full wallet at the beginning of any PvP session, just to have as much to work with as possible. And I think I might, now it's going to be easier with a large bag. A lot of that in the beginning with a small bag is just inventory management. You only got like 4 or 5 slots, and if you're bringing in like a L2 key and you're having to open up like alpha cluster and build vest and all that kind of stuff, all those slots are pretty much maxed out. So with a large bag, you have room for all that stuff plus plates. But if you have a large bag, you most likely have some kind of top tier plate carrier system, so you don't have to worry about. That's one less thing you have to worry about. But I think I'm gonna do another crochet run and try to get that advanced going. And I'll bring in the key. Even though we have a large bag, we won't need to look for one in the crates in an L2 zone, but the L2 zone is going to give us another way out, and it's going to give us more cash in all those crates. So that's a good way to cash up too. So same setup here, we just have a plate carrier and a large bag to work with.
Welcome to Al Mazrah.
Found the vehicle.
Advise you equip your gas mask in this area, but keep your time on target limited. Ultra One, be advised, enemy threat is high in the AO. Ultra One, enemy threat is moderate in the AO. Ultra One, enemy threat appears low in this area. Ultra One, you're entering a denied area. Stay alert.
Hoping for a battery and cable set by taking that crochet entrance. We did get the battery, but we didn't get the jumper cables. We did find one electrical component, but we'll still have to get into Alpha Cluster for the advanced. Always worth checking those blue toolboxes. Because you have to remember that the loot is thematic, so you're going to find items that are going to be in caches that are like thematically paired with the cache. So like sometimes you'll find liquor in medicine cabinets, for example, all the first aid kits in the game. So the kill streaks come on tablets, and the tablets are going to be thematically linked to toolboxes.
Ultra One, actuals in the blind. Complete your faction missions, then move to exfil. You're in the dark down there.
Found some loot here. Special.
Increased enemy activity in the area. Expect contact. Ultra One, we're seeing increased activity in the area. Stay sharp. Ultra One, be advised. Hostile active. Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming.
الجو ليش ما بنقاتل بالشتاء؟
Never know what lurks in the shadows around here. Hello? Is anyone out there? Tell me what you need. I'll keep inventory. Willing to trade. For a price, of course. What have you got for me? That's your common gear and equipment. Other station has the
شي منيح هون. واحد يدفع هون.
Need small caliber.
فرجيني حالك يا يلا روح تعال الشاطر
Ultra One, be advised. Hostile active. Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming. Ultra One, be advised. Threats are moving. Ultra One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming. Ultra One, activity has increased in the area. Keep your eyes open. One, you've got hostile reinforcements incoming. Ultra One, activity is increasing near your location. Stay alert. Winds are picking up in the AO. Advise you get to extraction before radiation moves in. One, actual. Winds are pushing radiation through the area. Advise moving to extraction when able. Ultra One, we have visual on your location. Good extracting, good work.
Should have switched the HCR in the backpack for that 5 attachment Sacken, even though I'm not going to use any of those 5 attachments except for the magazine size. Probably did have enough time, but didn't want to risk it with gas spreading. But the HCR is a really good, ooh, I got full stash. It's a good problem to have. Let's see what we can get rid of. We'll get rid of this cast off. No need that. And now we have a full contraband stash. More than halfway full on our wallet. Very good. We've surpassed that halfway point of $350,000, so we are ready for PvP runs here. Got plenty of contraband to work with and plenty of cash to fix up those contraband weapons. Been using the LMGs a lot recently. They're not meta weapons, but it is fun to use them in a team setting. And they do have their strengths. They certainly have their weaknesses, but they do have their use cases. Like they're really good against vehicles, especially like light helos. If you can get a good angle on a light helo, you can dissuade a fully stacked team from pushing you, or crit the chopper, or get armor breaks on all of them before they jump down on you, or even knock the pilot, which is the best case scenario. But all of the LMGs, or most of the LMGs, seem to do pretty good damage against the light helos especially. Everything except for maybe an Icarus and the RPK. I don't think it's... I think the RPK is unusable. It was nerfed heavily. It was like the go-to meta weapon in the early seasons, especially season 1, but I've yet to find a build that the recoil is a huge problem on the weapon. But all the other LMGs are actually fun to use. The Icarus you kind of have to treat as a large AR. I have a build now where I'm not even running the max magazine size on it. Just have the 75 round base magazine, and I've chosen instead to use that slot for AP rounds. Just kind of boost the damage that's kind of lacking on this weapon. You do have to add a lot of recoil attachments. It has a really heavy right kick to the right, so you have to add a lot of, I've got the stock, a rear grip option, and a muzzle device to mitigate as much of that recoil as I can. And I think a laser, an ADS laser, is a necessity on all LMGs. I started using the HCR. That was my first kind of LMG because it was most AR-like. And this is the build for that one. We're going to take advantage of it being an LMG. We're going to use the 100 round mag. It comes with a 60 round mag by default, but if you're using it in that configuration, you might as well be using an AR and get a lot of your mobility back. Find that the stock barrel is the best option for damage and damage range. The iron sights are usable on the weapon, but I think you're better off using some kind of red dot system. And it's shooting 5.56, so we're going to take the AP attachment here, and we're just going to use a muzzle device, and that's our only recoil device on the weapon, and then a laser, as always, on an LMG. Sakin is my go-to LMG because it has the it has a 150 round max capacity. That's the largest magazine size in the game, and I'd like to run iron sights, but the iron sight picture is very cluttered. You can lose a target pretty easily in the rear sights, and the front sight assembly is not great. So I've tried many different options for the optic, and I found that the SRO 7 is the best one. It's the only non-magnified optic that'll get you up and above the front sight assembly, so you have a very clear sight picture. This is what that looks like. So it's probably like maybe like a 1 time, maybe like a 1.5 time optic, somewhere in that range. But with a laser on it, even with all the other attachments, the ADS time is not that bad. It's not great, but we're running, the optic is going to be the most important attachment. That's the only way you're going to get your shots on target. We're going to run the 150 round box mag to take full advantage of the weapon platform and just put more shots on target, more damage output. We're going to run the 20-inch long heavy barrel. This will give us direct recoil control, but it'll also add damage range and bullet velocity. And you're always going to be shooting at moving targets with an LMG. You're going to be relatively stationary. You do want to take advantage of mounting up if possible, but it's not always the best idea. if you're mounted, you're an easy headshot target. So, and then we're going to run the TY LR8 muzzle device. That's for horizontal recoil control. You unlock that by leveling up a couple different marksman rifles. And then finally, as always on an LMG, we're going to have an ADS laser. That's going to compensate for all that ADS time we're losing with the other 4 attachments. But guys, quickly here, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to resume with part 2. Appreciate you tagging along. I hope you had fun, and I'll catch you guys very soon for part 2.